If you are holding your breath for the next massive leap in content creation technology, you might want to stop right now, because what is quietly brewing behind closed doors at DJI is about to completely shatter everything you thought you knew about action cameras. Welcome back, creators! If you have been following the tech space over the last few months, you already know that the action camera war has reached a boiling point. GoPro has been fighting tooth and nail to keep its crown, Insta360 has been pushing the boundaries of AI processing, and yet, all anyone in elite filmmaking circles can talk about right now is the upcoming, unannounced, heavily rumored DJI Osmo Action 7. Is it going to be a minor spec bump? Are we just looking at a slightly faster processor and a different sticker on the box? Or are we staring down the barrel of a device that is going to make traditional mirrorless setups completely obsolete for travel and adventure vloggers? Today, we are diving headfirst down the rabbit hole. We are looking at the leaked documents, the supply chain murmurs, the sensor architecture prototypes, and the exact roadmap of what DJI is preparing for late 2026. If you own an Action 5 Pro or even the recent Action 6, you need to pay very close attention to every single word of this video, because what is coming is going to change how you spend your hard-earned money. Let us start with the elephant in the room, the timeline. DJI's traditional release cadence usually places their major flagship action drops right in the heart of the fourth quarter, typically targeting October or November to capture the massive holiday shopping rush. Industry insiders tracking component shipments and firmware testing pipelines have confirmed that the R&D cycle for the Action 7 kicked into overdrive much earlier than anticipated. Why? Because the pressure from competitors is relentless. GoPro's upcoming ecosystem adjustments and Insta360's aggressive sensor updates have forced DJI's hand. They cannot afford to just rest on their laurels. They have to deliver a knockout punch. And that punch starts with the absolute core of the camera, the imaging sensor. If you remember the transition to the Action 6, DJI introduced a massive shift by incorporating a large square format leaning sensor architecture designed to maximize cropping flexibility for vertical and horizontal social media platforms simultaneously. But for the Action 7, the leaks pointing toward the next generation indicate something far more aggressive. Whispers from manufacturing hubs in Shenzhen suggest that DJI is pushing the envelope further with a heavily optimized, ultra-high readout sensor variant designed to tackle the holy grail of portable video, uncompromised 8K resolution at buttery-smooth frame rates. Think about that for a second. We are talking about an action camera, something the size of a matchbox that you can mount to a surfboard, a helmet, or a chest harness, delivering raw fidelity that rivals cinema cameras from just a few years ago. But resolution numbers are just marketing fluff if the camera cannot handle low light. And this is where the Osmo Action 7 rumors get genuinely terrifying for the competition. One of the biggest historical complaints about action cameras has always been their tiny sensors choking the moment the sun goes down. The moment you step indoors, head into a shaded forest, or try to capture a night street vlog, the image falls apart into a muddy, noisy mess, forcing you to crank up ISO and destroy your dynamic range. Leaked engineering briefs indicate that DJI's primary objective for the Action 7 is a complete overhaul of its low-light architecture. We are looking at advanced pixel binning algorithms paired with a custom-tuned, high-transmittance lens assembly engineered to pull in maximum light without introducing chromatic aberration. Imagine shooting a sunset surf session, transitioning into deep blue-hour twilight, and cutting straight into a nighttime city ride without ever having to touch a noise reduction filter in post-production. That is the exact performance target DJI has set for the Action 7. Industry insiders are whispering about a native dynamic range that pushes past previous thresholds, capturing shadow details in high-contrast environments like riding out of a dark tunnel into blinding sunlight with zero blown-out highlights or crushed blacks. Now, let's talk about stabilization, because this is where DJI complete. Ely rewrote the rulebook years ago with RockSteady and HorizonSteady, leaving GoPro scrambling to catch up. For the Action 7, the rumor mill points to the debut of RockSteady 4.0, integrated tightly with an on-device dedicated AI coprocessor. What does an AI coprocessor actually do for stabilization? It means the camera stops just looking at gyroscope data and starts actually understanding the scene. It can differentiate between intentional camera movements like panning to follow a subject and harsh, unwanted micro-jitters from rough terrain. If you are bombing down a mountain bike trail on a rocky, route-strewn path, the camera isn't just cropping in to stabilize, it is predicting the trajectory of the frame using machine learning models running locally on the chip. The result? Footage so smooth it looks like it was shot on a motorized 3-axis gimbal, even when it's strapped to a vibrating dirt bike handlebar at full throttle. Battery performance has always been the Achilles heel of extreme sports recording. When you are shooting in high resolutions, thermal throttling and battery drain usually give you a narrow window of shooting time before the camera throws a high temperature warning or dies completely. Sources close to supply chain logistics indicate that the Osmo Action 7 is tackling thermal management from the ground up. A redesigned internal chassis utilizing advanced heat-dissipating alloy plates is rumored to allow the camera to run continuously at peak settings without overheating shutdowns. Coupled with the next-generation high-density silicon-carbon battery chemistry, we are looking at extended runtime capabilities that comfortably surpass the 4-hour mark under mixed-resolution usage. This means you can mount it, set it, and forget it during long hikes, track days, or travel vlogs without constantly swapping out power cells in freezing cold or sweltering heat. Audio capture is another massive frontier for action cameras, and DJI knows it. Ever since they dominated the wireless audio market with their DJI mic line, users have expected seamless integration. The rumors suggest that the Osmo Action 7 will feature native, zero-latency direct pairing with external wireless transmitters without needing an external receiver puck. Imagine heading out to capture a cinematic travel piece, clipping a tiny wireless mic to your collar, and having crystal-clear, studio-grade 32-bit float audio recorded directly into the camera file alongside your 8K footage. No clumsy syncing in post-production. No lost audio tracks. Just pure, broadcast-ready media straight out of the device. Of course, we have to address the elephant in the room that every US creator is thinking about: the regulatory landscape. With ongoing scrutiny and legislative friction surrounding DJI in the United States, availability has been a hot-button topic for every recent release. While drone restrictions have dominated headlines, non-drone hardware like action cameras and gimbals have faced shifting retail distribution hurdles and indirect federal watchlists. If you are trying to buy these devices on official web stores or major US retail shelves right away, the launch window might require navigating alternative supply paths or international shipping channels, just as we saw with previous rollouts. Despite these bureaucratic headaches, the demand for DJI's hardware in the creator economy remains completely unyielding because, quite frankly, the competition simply hasn't matched their hardware value. Speaking of value, let's talk about pricing. Action cameras have crept up in price over the years, but DJI has historically maintained an aggressive pricing strategy to undercut their main rivals. Current market projections place the standard combo of the Osmo Action 7 anywhere between $349 and $429, while the fully loaded Adventure combo, packed with extra batteries, the multi-charging case, and mounting extensions, is expected to range from $479 to $579. When you compare what you get in that box versus a stripped-down competitor package that requires you to buy every single accessory separately, DJI's value proposition continues to be an absolute game-changer for independent creators who cannot afford Hollywood budgets. So, who is this camera actually for? If you are still shooting on an Action 3 or an older GoPro, the leap to the Action 7 is going to feel like teleporting from the Stone Age into the future. The combination of massive low-li improvements, AI-driven stabilization, potential 8K capabilities, and vastly superior thermal management means you are carrying a full-fledged cinematic production tool in your pocket. However, if you just bought an Action 6, should you panic? Not necessarily. The Action 6 remains an incredible piece of engineering. But technology moves at a blistering pace, and the feature set being tested for the Action 7 represents a generational shift in what an action camera is expected to do. It blurs the line completely between rugged crash cam and primary A-cam. The anticipation is reaching a fever pitch, and as we get closer to the official announcement window in the latter half of the year, expect more leaks, more firmware previews, and a lot more noise from rival brands trying to steal DJI's thunder. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because the second official teaser drops or FCC filings leak out, we will break down every single technical detail right here on the channel.